Hello everyone. Today I'll be discussing on the topic of burial pods. We all die at some point in time. Death is unavoidable. A company by the name Capsula Mundi has created a different approach to life after death. Since 2003, they discovered this project to create an egg-shaped pod, placing the ashes of loved ones inside the biodegradable material, working with nature to break down the decaying body, continuing the cycle of life. These organic burial pods will be placed in soil and grown as a seed, transforming into a tree, chosen by family members or by the deceased. Their goal is to reinvent our perception of death into a beautiful and comforting way to those who have passed. An article by Green Matters states, when Riverdale and Beverly Hills 90210 star Luke Perry unexpectedly died in 2019, his death made headlines for many reasons. One of which was the zero waste way he chose to be buried. According to his daughter, Sophie Perry, the 52-year-old was buried in an eco-friendly mushroom suit that allowed his decaying body to become a part of nature. Similar to Capsula Mundi, Luke Perry wanted an alternative way to lead this life and start of a new one. In 2020 alone, the USA Facts by the CDC states that there would be 2.75 million deaths in 2020, accounting for an aging population. Now think about how many new gravestones had to be placed that same year. The cemeteries we visit to see our loved ones feel cold and bleak. Instead, what if we were able to visit them in a sacred forest in the comfort of knowing that their life contributes to the growth of a tree? In a space filled with nature, enhancing the quality of life on Earth. Organic burial pods are not only a solution to burying the deceased, but help reduce the loss of trees. This speech will inform you on the impact your passing or the passing of loved ones can leave on this earth, creating a safe and loving environment, finding relief in death, knowing we can be a part of nature. In this speech, I will be discussing the problems regarding coffins, cemeteries. Then I will explain how we as individuals contribute and can create a healthier ecosystem. Coffins date back to 5000 BC, during ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia era. Since then, it has become a tradition to create coffins for the deceased in order to protect their bodies from predators. Research now shows that caskets and coffins are harmful to our environment. They contain metals, synthetic fabrics, and leaves a carbon footprint. The same soil we use to plant trees. Cemeteries in the 7th century were often controlled by the church, and the only ones allowed to bury the dead at the time. In today's society, we see cemeteries getting more and more crowded. There is simply not enough space for future deaths. In an article, Greater Washington, written by Joanne Tang, states cemeteries have large acres of grass and need a lot of water, and their impervious surfaces in the way of gravestones and mausoleums also make their water-related costs high. Not only do we waste more water, but we ruin the earth's soil with toxic chemicals. As you can see, coffins and cemeteries are not sustainable for our ecosystem, and a lot of upkeep is needed for these cemeteries. The United States are not implementing sustainable death practices. Rules and regulation in most states requiring cemeteries to bury the deceased in coffins. Society contributes to this problem by using the services of cemeteries or their other organizations allowing these customs to continue. According to Policy Genius, on average, funerals cost $8,000 to $10,000. Although the cause of the issues are not entirely the fault of every individual. It is, however, a societal norm and plays a part in how we are destroying our own ecosystem, even through death. Now I will explain the solution to an eco-friendly and burial practice we can use in the futures to come. In recent years, there are new and developing alternatives to creating a sustainable way to bury loved ones, while producing new life in the absence of an old one. Restoring nature one tree at a time. According to memorial planning, natural burials are beneficial because they eliminate all the concerns of practical burials. Like Capsula Mundi, they benefit the public by providing low-cost and biodegradable material able to safely decompose. Supporting organizations like these implement a new societal norm and fertilize more trees in our environment. In this speech, I have explained why organic burial pods are more economically better than coffins and more effective long-term. There is difficulty finding closure in death. With the new advances with organic burial pods, it can help us to remember those we have lost in a loving environment. Knowing our loved ones are now one with nature. The story of Luke Perry lives on. We too can live as harmonious as he is and fulfill our lives with purpose even after death. We all die at some point, and it is comforting how beautiful death can be when implementing healthy death practices. And just to give everybody a visualization of these burial pods, they start out like this, the one in white, and then sooner or later they blossom, and we are able to create a forest. And this is a little representation of that. Thank you.